Hey guys, and welcome back to Mad About Skin. We are always being told that retinoids are like the gold standard in anti-aging, so often we'll rush out and we'll get ourselves a retinol for our own skincare routine. One of the most frequently asked questions I get here on the channel though is, why is my retinol not working? We're promised all of these wonderful benefits, the erasing of fine lines and wrinkles, plumping out our skin, fading hyperpigmentation, but 3, 4, 5, even more months into our retinoid journey, we're just not seeing those results. Well, there could be a whole host of reasons why that's the case, and I want to share with you 5 common mistakes we make with retinoids which could be holding you back. Sit back, relax, let's talk why your retinoid isn't working. Now, before we get into this video, I would love to know what your own retinol journey has been. Share with me like your before and after experiences, and of course your favourite retinoid product. Leave me a comment because I love hearing about your own recommendations, which really do shape the products I try out and review here on the channel in the future. Whatever your thoughts on retinol, if you want to help me to get this message out there loud and clear so that everyone knows how to get the maximum value from whatever product they reach for, the best way of helping me to do this is by reaching down and giving this video a thumbs up and a like. The more likes the video gets, the more widely YouTube distributes it on its platform. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you all so much. Now, I've got a lot to say in this video, so should we just cut that waffle and delve straight on in? Now, reason number 1 why you might not be getting those game-changing results from your retinol is you maybe haven't set your expectations correctly. I think online people have the tendency to overhype ingredients, maybe overpromise, and then of course those products underdeliver. The key to any success in skincare is setting your expectations right very early on. Retinoids are wonderful. They can be transformative for the skin. Over time, they'll boost collagen and elastin production, which can minimize fine lines and wrinkles and help return firmness and elasticity to the skin. They increase cellular turnover, which means, again, over time, excess pigment that's accumulated can be removed from the skin, giving a more even complexion. They're also potent antioxidants, which is a nice additional benefit to have. However, they're not going to work overnight. There's always going to be a transition period with any retinoid, what we often term the retinol uglies. The peeling, the redness, the irritation, as your skin adjusts to the inclusion of a vitamin A derivative. Once you've worked through that, it can take upwards of 6 months to a year to start seeing these wonderful results. So I would say patience is key. See your retinoid journey like anything else in skincare as a marathon, not a sprint. We're investing now for those long-term payoffs. So a lot of people get impatient after like 8 weeks, 3 months and say, my retinoid isn't working. I thought I'd see a noticeable reduction in my fine lines and wrinkles. That's not happening. It's not. Retinoids do take that time, and I think it's key to have that consistent approach. Use it as often as your skin can tolerate in the long term, and I promise you, your skin will be better off for it. But a little bit of patience, I think, sets your expectations really clearly at the start. Reason number 2 why your retinol might not be working is you might just be using the wrong form of vitamin A derivative. Brands are a little bit sneaky. Retinoids aren't all created equal. There's different versions. You'll hear people talk about retinol, retinal, you've got retinol palmitate, you've got esters, gram-active retinoids, so much choice on the market, and each one of these will work in a very different way. Some are far more gentle, which is not always a bad thing. If you're wanting really good results, then you're going to have to graduate upwards to some of the higher potency versions. But if you have a really sensitive skin type, keeping it super gentle is key. But you need to know the exact form of retinoid you're using in the product and the strength to really gauge how effective it's going to be and match it to your skin type. If you're looking for something higher potency, go for a traditional retinol rather than a gram-active retinoid or a retinol derivative or ester, or a retinal, which is actually one of the most potent forms available over the counter. 2 of my favourites are these. This is the ordinary retinol 1%, and this is the Medicate Crystal Retinal 10. Retinal, retinol, but these are in purer forms which are going to deliver, I think, more effective results in the long term. But don't forget, these 2 are quite high potency, so they could come with additional side effects. It's all about balancing this out. If you're reaching for encapsulated retinol, gram-active retinoids, retinol palmitate, anything that sounds slightly different like that, it's probably going to be less potent, so less irritation but less results in the long run. So I would say, unless you've got a super sensitive skin type, your end stage in terms of retinoids should be either prescription strength or a high potency retinal or retinol. All the others have great benefits, particularly when you're introducing this ingredient, and in the long term you get the very best results from some of these higher potency forms. Mistake number 3 is not applying it often enough. Now, when you start out on your retinoid journey, it is really important that you go for a lower concentration and use it infrequently. Build up your tolerance, because if you don't and you go for a high strength, use it every single day, that's when the redness, the peeling, the irritation is really going to take over. But this is really just for that adjustment period. In the long term, you should be using your retinoid, whichever one you choose, as often as your skin will allow. You don't want to cause too much inflammation and irritation in the skin, and for some people, they can only use their retinoid a couple of times a week. That's absolutely fine. But for a lot of people, it's perfectly fine to build up and use it every single day. This is certainly something that I do when I reach for my RETINOL. Every single day, my skin can tolerate and I get the best results. I started out infrequently and built up to this point, but I think some people feel like they're almost scared to get past using it once or twice a week. Give it a go. Build up your frequency, but listen to what your skin is saying. If you start getting a noticeable increase in redness and irritation that doesn't subside, then perhaps this is just too frequent for you and you need to take it down a notch again. But sticking it just once or twice a week is never going to give you the maximum benefits when it comes to anti-aging. Use it as frequently as your skin will allow. Mistake number 4 is not using enough. Now, I know this might run counterintuitive to what a lot of people say online about using a minimal amount of retinoid to minimize your sensitivity. People always say this pea-sized amount, which actually, who has peas in their bathroom? Like, what is a pea-sized amount? It doesn't really make sense. And so a lot of people use far less than they actually need to in order to get the maximum results. I don't want anyone overusing their retinoid, because if you pile it on the skin, this can trigger the sensitivity, the redness and the irritation and send it into overdrive. But just be mindful of exactly how much you use. Most products will come with a pump attachment like this, which is the Medicate Crystal Retinol. One pump will do all the face. However, if you want to take it onto the neck, onto the chest as well, you might need to use a pump and a half. Just bear that in mind. This pea-size amount is a bit of a myth and it's really difficult to kind of work out exactly what that is. So I would say, as a guide, if you put it on your small fingernail, as long as it covers that fingernail, that's probably about the right amount. If you're using less than that, it might be that you're not going to get the results you want to see. If you're using more than that, you might increase the risk of irritation. So it's all about that balancing act. But I see people using so little on the skin, even after like an established period where they've been using it for like 6 months, they're still like dotting the tiniest amount. And in truth, you're not going to get the very best application with that. So make sure you're not overdoing it, but also make sure you're not going in too sparingly. Find that balancing act to get the very best results. The 5th and final reason why your retinoid might not be performing is because you're using it at the wrong time of the day. Now, retinoid should always be used in your evening skincare routine. I think most of us probably do use it in our evening routine, but not everyone. If you're using it in the morning, you're going to be getting far less potency from your retinoid because vitamin A is broken down with UV light. So you step out the door, those UV wavelengths of light hit the skin and start to degrade, break apart that retinoid, so you're getting far less potency and benefits from it. Always make sure you're using your retinoid, whichever one you choose, in your evening skincare routine. That way it can work for you as you sleep and you'll wake up with all those benefits intact. This is something that hopefully all of us already do, but there is no judgment. If you use your retinoid in the morning, don't worry about it. We all make these mistakes when it comes to our skincare. Just move it to your evening skincare routine and I promise you, you'll see far better results. So there you have it, guys. 5 key reasons why your retinoid might not be working as well as you thought it would. Patience is key. It's all about using it correctly in your skincare routine, but allowing the product time to work. Especially with retinoids, which take an adjustment period where you might be starting slower with a lower concentration and working your way up. Don't expect to see those results overnight, but don't be afraid to take those steps to increase the frequency, increase the strength and the type of retinol that you're using, because ultimately the very higher potency ones are going to give you the best results in the long term if your skin can tolerate it. Listen to what your skin's saying, work out what's best for you, but take those steps. Hopefully this video will just help you maximize the benefits no matter what your skin type and what retinoid product you choose. Sign up in the comments section below with any other hints, tips and hacks you'd add to this, and wherever you are in the world, guys, stay safe, stay well and love your skin. Take care. Bye.